Hello everyone, welcome to Quack&Co, where every video is 10 minutes or less, and this is a Quack&Co takeover where Brian from Game Brigade, that's me, is taking over this channel for the next month, and you're going to have great content.
Brian, we talked about this. It's literally just a week. Like, this is the third day we've made these videos.
We'll figure it out one of these days, and I will promise you, I'm going to be here for a month. But we'll be here for the next week at least, as I try to convince Jesse and West to let me have their channel. Because it's going to be the best thing they've ever done for this channel, at least in terms of looks. Anyways, today is Wild West Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about a game that is near and dear to my heart, Twilight Imperium. And this is my favorite game. In fact, it has sat on the #1 spot of my top 50 list for quite a while. It is the best game you will never play. What did I just say? It's the game we'll never play? Yes. Twilight Imperium is the game that I love the most that I will never play. And why is that? Why do I never get to play this game? Well, there's a myriad of reasons, but maybe understanding what Twilight Imperium is will help you understand my thoughts. See, Twilight Imperium is a grand 4X experience. A game where players are going to be sitting around a table fulfilling the role of a galactic civilization as they try to vie for the control of the galaxy and Mecatol Rex, the center of the galaxy. Every player has their own powers. Every player has different ships that do different types of abilities. It's a grand campaign game, not campaign, but a grand experience in a campaign of battle that can last upwards to 12 hours. And that is where the first problem occurs. A 12-hour experience. Do you know how hard it is to get a group of at minimum 5 players? I won't play Twilight Imperium at less than 5. But getting at minimum 5 players to agree to come together for one day to play one title, it is incredibly difficult. Twilight Imperium is probably the only game I've ever played that requires a 2-month lead time to play it. We have to block out an entire calendar day to play this game, to try to coordinate with all the different families and groups and try to get permission from partners that they are going to be going and playing a child's game for 12 hours. But it's a 12 hours that is incredibly fun, filled with laughs, filled with stories. But what if not everyone knows the game? Here's the next problem. Now you're going to add on an additional 45 minutes, an hour, in my case 10 minutes or less, in teaching a game. See, Twilight Imperium is a long game with a lot of nuanced rules throughout. I don't think the game is complex or difficult to understand, but there's a lot of things happening, and being able to be aware of that does require a teach. And bringing in a new player, which is something that's common because, like I said, finding a group of players that can meet is difficult. So a lot of times we might have to pick from people who have never played Twilight Imperium to fill those seats, to fill them up, get butts and seats. And teaching them that game adds on to that experience. Not everyone in the group even wants to take on the new role of having someone sit in the game. I do think, in my opinion, Twilight Imperium is a great experience, and it's not hard to learn or not hard to teach, but it's daunting. And I think it's something that's part of the community at whole. Whenever I see people talking about this game, it's always how complicated and complex it is. I don't think it is, but it has got that overarching structure for it. The next thing that people dislike, and it's something you can't get away from in Twilight Imperium, is that it is a direct conflict game. Finding people in my player group that even like this style of game can be difficult because, one, no one likes getting picked on, and that's something that feels very real in Twilight Imperium. As soon as your neighbor attacks you, who you've never done anything to, that is a feel-bad moment. People don't enjoy that. And I have found that finding people that are okay with that mechanic or okay with that style of gameplay is somewhat limiting, especially in the board game space. I'm not sure why. I don't know what it is, but people just don't like being attacked by their friends. Maybe it makes them feel betrayed. So having that on top of a 12-hour experience, on top of having to learn new rules, is daunting. Twilight Imperium is also the only game where I've had to send the race sheets out to everyone the night before so they can understand what their faction does. I don't necessarily think this is something that is needed to do, but for some reason, every time I play this game, everyone wants to know who they're playing because they feel like they have to research this game. The way I'm describing this game almost to you guys makes it sound like it is a awful experience, but it's hard to say because Twilight Imperium is my favorite game that I never get to play. One thing people call it sometimes is a convention game because it's an opportunity to meet people that are willing to sit down and play a game at a convention, and I thought about that for myself. But why would I want to sit down at a convention where I have limited time and break out 12 hours? It's so weird. This game is so daunting, so hard to sit down and enjoy. I'm never sure how I'm going to play it. So my question to you is, do you have a favorite game you don't play? And why is it Twilight Imperium? That's what I want to know. Twilight Imperium, the best game you may never play. It is my favorite game that I don't ever play. I hope you guys do get a chance to play it one time because it is a great experience. My name is Brian from Game Brigade. This is Quack&Co, where every video is 10 minutes or less, guaranteed, or your money back, something like that. And get out and do all the things, play board games, do the things that make you happy. I don't know what Jesse's call sign is. This is Brian. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.